There are few people in the world that are more passionate about designing farms and chasing whitetails than our own Jeff Althoff. When fall hits, the chase is on, and Jeff's pursuit in Wisconsin is nothing short of a nail-biter.
My passion is kind of the constant chase and the constant pursuit of perfection and the different things that we can do to help not only our own hunts, but other hunts as well. And crafting these properties, designing strategies, the preparation, and the out-of-the-box thinking that goes into some of the things that we do is rewarding when it all pays off in the end. Whether that's somebody else holding the deer or whether that's myself holding the deer, you know, you take in that moment at the end, you enjoy it, you embellish it, and you bring it in, but then it's instantly, it's okay, now I'm ready for the next design or the next hunt or the next pursuit or the next client that we can help. And it's a never-ending process that really goes 365, 12 months out of the year. And that uniqueness and our ability to help others is what drives us and me to do what we do. So for me at the start of this hunting season, there was really one deer that caught my attention. 7.5-year-old mainframe 10, split brow, split G2, gorgeous frame, tall, wide. So this was a deer that really had it all, and it was a buck that we call Bobby, and it was a buck that I wanted to pursue to start out the hunting season.
So Bobby's a really super unique buck, and because of the improvements we've made on the Black Walnut Farm, he's made it his home.
So when we acquired this farm, it was nothing but timber, no food, no real strategy in how you can effectively hunt this farm consistently. So we did several things on this farm, but the one that we want to highlight the most is what we call the bowl plot that's in the back part of this farm. This is a plot that we got ultra creative when we designed it, and we actually positioned it in the back part of this farm, really at the center of where everything comes together. And it's deep down in a valley. It's got a super secluded feel to it. And on top of that, because the two ridge tops above this plot folded down from the west, south, and east of it, we're able to actually come in from the north, use access to our advantage, get into this bull plot, and hunt it without the deer up in their beds knowing. It's our first sit of the 2022 Wisconsin archery season here. We're set up back in a big bowl on the Black Walnut Farm. It's the first time I've actually hunted this farm. Probably got at least 100 man hours into the design and the build of this farm. So the setup of this plot is to bring deer bedded off of both of those ridges down into this plot and feed here before they go anywhere else. This plot is a 2-acre soybean plot. We've got a water hole. We got a couple big community scrapes that the deer are using. They're coming to this soybean plot, eating the tops of the soybeans early on, and then they're actually moving out to our corn and our domain big sexy brassica plot, which is behind us, and that's about a 6-acre plot. So we're hoping to catch them staging on this plot as they come down from their bedding points and they make their way out to our big plots. For the next 3 days, it's going to progressively get colder and colder. See if we can't get Bobby on his feet in this cold front. It's Bobby. There he is. There's a coyote coming. Look at him.
Love the Grind is presented by onX Hunt, mapping for monster success. Cuddy back cameras, 24/7, 365 scouting. Ozonics, be undetectable. Elevated arms, experience the next level of shooting. Redneck Blinds, the best hunting blind on the planet. Quiet Cat, redefining access. Weiss Realty, Your dream property awaits. Domain Outdoor, turn your property into a domain. And by River's Edge Tree Stands, elevating comfort.
We've all been here, but not anymore. Introducing the most lightweight, practical shooting system on the market. The Elevated Arms Model X. Functional, lightweight, comfortable. Bipod and monopod built right into the stock. Experience the next level of shooting.
We live for the hunt, but we love the grind even more. This is our lifestyle. 24/7, 365. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, and more. If you love the grind, visit hunthomegrownoutfitters.com and sport your passion.
We got 4 bucks and 7 does in the plot right now. We got one 3.5 on 30-inch 8, and then actually that buck looks pretty good too. So it looks like we got 2 3-year-olds, a couple 2-year-olds, we got a bunch of does. Things are really starting to heat up in this plot right now. So 2 more does just entered the plot here from our south. So we got deer all around us in this plot. As of right now, we got 4 bucks within 70 yards of us. 2 of them are about 130 inches. And then we got 2 younger ones. And then a bunch of does scattered throughout too, so just kind of waiting to see if our target buck pops up now. Buck coming off that bench. Looks like a good one. It's Bobby. There he is. It's 93 yards. You gotta be kidding me. There's a coyote coming. Look at him. We got Bobby feeding out in the beans at 93 yards. We got a coyote coming down our east access trail. Looks like the coyote's after his own meal. So far he's tolerating it, but he doesn't like it. So the coyote has left the plot. He went back into the woods. Bobby's still on edge up there, on high alert. Our only hope is that that coyote gets off into the distance and Bobby gets comfortable feeding again. He takes a few steps, his head is down in the beans grazing, lifts his head up, looks back towards the direction where the coyote came from, scans the rest of the plot. With that coyote just right there, he's not gonna come down. Man, I'm surprised that a 7.5-year-old buck like that is tolerated this much. Normally when you see a coyote enter the plot, the deer scatter, but Bobby's just got that presence about him. He's just on his way back up into the timber. It's probably a wrap for tonight for him, but he looked real good. Big frame on him, cool sticker off his G2, split brows, old gnarly face. He's been around the block. We're back out here on the Black Walnut Farm. Hopefully we'll get another look at Bobby and see if we can't get him into
Every property is unique and each has endless potential. You have the opportunity to create something special. Love the Grind Consulting approaches properties differently. From concept to creation, our out-of-the-box designs and strategies will not only give you more hunting opportunities, but increase the market value of your property. We build world-class farms that are backed by proven results. Let us help you transform your property this year and maximize the value of your asset for generations to come. Contact Love the Grind Consulting today.
Are you a passionate hunter that shares a love for hunting, the preparation, and everything that goes into the process? Then check out Love the Grind on YouTube and subscribe to learn innovative tips and tricks to take your hunting to the next level this season. Instructional property breakdowns, elite design concepts, real-world hunts, proven strategies. Learn how to increase your hunting opportunities and improve your property. Subscribe on YouTube and join a growing community of people like you who love the grind.
We're back out on the Black Walnut Farm here. The same ducked-back secluded food plot that we've been hunting. So on this farm, we've got a bunch of different small carved-out food plots on it, but we keep coming back to this one because it lies at the base of two big ridge systems. And what we're seeing on camera and with our sits is this is the first place that the deer want to be when they get up off the bedding point. So we came back in here again tonight. Because we've actually got the first frost of the year that's forecasted overnight, so we're hoping the drop in temperature will get the deer, especially Bobby, up off their feet early. And if they do get off their feet, this will be the first place they come. So we'll see if we can't lay eyes on Bobby and get him into bow range tonight. See them getting ready. Oh, yeah. Going in. Yeah, that's not a spotter. They're fighting. This one's coming too. You see him? We got 3 bucks that are fighting like it's the middle of November to the left of us. We got Bobby out in front of us at 60 yards behind some debris, but he's feeding down. Biggest thing here is just going to be to get a clean shot off, and try to pace ourselves because he looks good. That is his 7.5-year-old slammer up there 60 yards from us right now. Am I good? No. You're good. You're not good. Well, Bobby finds a way to evade us for a second time. You can obviously see why we're hunting him. He's a giant. Big, mature bruiser, tons of character, huge frame. Man, that was the first time I seen him up close and personal like that. He looked good, real good. Not only did he look good, he just had this presence about him. When he came out to the plot, you could just tell he was a big old mature bruiser. Acted different than all of the other deer we've been seeing. And definitely the reason why we're pursuing him.
The rest of the season was really a game of cat and mouse with Bobby. He seemed to always be one step ahead of us. We stayed persistent after him, but the rut came and Bobby vanished, and we didn't have any more intel to go off of to hunt him. And the way we approach our hunts and the way we have our strategies is if we don't have intel about a specific deer, we don't just go in and hunt them. So it was time to make a change. So for this hunt, I'm going to be going to a farm that we call the Lambeau farm. We had a lot of intel from the cameras, and those cameras told us there was a ton of deer using this food plot as a late season food source.
Welcome to Homegrown Outfitters!
Follow us on social media and share in the experience all year long.
Just got set up on a 2-acre brassica plot here, and our plan is we've got a cold front coming in. We're gonna hunt the front end of this cold front at the top of the lodge. We just had a giant show up 2 days ago, a buck that I would love to get my hands on. The other thing to keep in mind as we're sitting up here tonight is we got a pile of bucks using this top field. Temperatures are gonna be cold, wind is gonna be screaming, and our plan is to hunt the ridge top tonight after this big new split G2 buck. See how the night unfolds. So the rest of the season goes on, and I spent a lot of my time in the fall down in Iowa and at Homegrown Outfitters camp helping others. So I don't have a lot of time to hunt. And so now we shift ahead to late season, things start slowing down, winding down, and finally get the opportunity to get back in a tree again. So for this hunt, I'm gonna be going to a farm that we call the Lambeau farm.
So the reason this farm got its name is because it has a massive agriculture field in the bottom, and when you stand down there, it just gives off this huge stadium feel.
So we've got the end zone plot, which is at the southernmost part of this big agricultural field, and it feeds down from a big ridge top. This would be the place those deer would come down off their bedrooms and feed first and feel the most comfortable feeding before they move into the destination food sources on some of the bigger parts of the field. We put about 6 acres into soybeans. At the base of this big 10-acre food plot is a 2-acre brassica plot with another 2 acres in strips that lead to different parts of this timber. And we know that later in the season, we're gonna use kind of the corners of this food plot in those strips to our advantage to position ourselves where we think the deer are not only gonna come into the field, but use those strips as both walking strips as well as a food source. So coming into my hunt, we had a lot of intel from the cameras, and those cameras told us the majority of the activity was coming from the southeast part of this plot. However, we decided to kind of go against the grain because of the intel we had from our CuddyLink system and hunt the opposite end of this food source where a couple mature bucks were coming out. So we got into the blind nice and early, about 1 in the afternoon, and by 3 o'clock there was probably 50-60 deer that had came out into the field already. None by our corner, all of them were in the opposite corner. And I happened to look up into the timber and saw a big buck chasing a doe, believe it or not, and they were coming into the field fast. Man. You know? Got him, smoked him. Get him going down, get here, you want him. Do you see him? He's in the tree. He's still trying to chase the doe. He ain't going much further. Within a split second of me seeing that buck, I grabbed my bow, went to full draw. He was already in the field. It happened very fast. And he stopped for just a split second, looked up, I touched my arrow off, made a great shot on him, but it happened so fast that we weren't able to get the camera swung around and on him. But that was my last opportunity at probably the season to get an opportunity at a buck. So I made a good shot and then decided to sneak down, grab our arrow, take a look at it, and sneak out and go back after him in the morning because we were pretty sure we made a really good shot and he went down, but we wanted to play it safe and with how cold it was outside and knowing where that deer was, there was no reason to rush it and to take that chance.
All right, so we're back at the spot where we picked up the arrow last night. We gave him about 18 hours to rest. He gave every indication that he was about to go down when he walked into the woods, but we kind of lost eyesight of him behind some brush. So decided to play it safe, let him rest overnight, give him some time, and come back out here this morning with the snowmobile. So we're gonna take up the track right now, follow it into the woods nice and slowly, and see if he's not laying there not too far from there. He dropped right where we said he would, baby. He's right there. You guys ready to go get your hands on a January 7th late season 10-pointer? He's laying right there, belly up. First ever late season buck, definitely first ever January deer. And here he is. He is stiff because he died right away, but he's got some good mass on him, good G4s, tight, tall, good beam length. I tell you what, he's a pretty good buck for January 7th, man. Look at that.
So that's basically how filming and hunting goes. Already when you're on a hunt, there's a million different variables that can be going on, but when you throw in a camera, and sometimes those angles just don't match up.
A chaotic ending and a buck chasing a doe on January 7th just seems to be the perfect fit for a hunt that had its ups and downs and really took all season to cap.
Hunting is a game of patience and persistence. Endless hours and effort are dedicated to the chase. Jeff truly loves the grind, and it all came together in the bottom of the ninth. This is what we live for.